Kevin, the Browns were last in points scored last year, and so you could have some explosive guys on offense with that thing. What are you going to do to be more productive next year?
Yeah, we're working on that right now. Just as we get our veterans back in here, Jeff, and we're starting down the path of putting this system together. And Tommy's doing a great job with the coaches. We'll add some players throughout this draft potentially. So we're excited about the group that we'll be able to put together.
So just to follow up on that, so do you think with the players that you have, not what you have to do with quarterbacks, but is that in itself going to make you guys better?
What is that? One more time, Jeff. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal is to improve, certainly, and we have a lot of work to do and room to improve, but I'm very, very confident in the group we have.
Kevin, what do you like most about Mason, and how does he fit in James?
Yeah, he's a perfect fit, really. Just the way his skill set, the way he gets off the ball, the way he's able to disrupt is exactly what we do. Now, he did that sometimes, maybe not all the time. There is some two-gapping in Michigan's system, but you saw plenty of times where when he goes, and just great balance, great ability to be disruptive, make plays in the run game and the pass game. Those interior rushers are really valuable in the scheme.
Kevin, in terms of their scheme, what he was running on that wing that Michigan to bear, what he's coming in, how much of an adjustment, is there?
It happens all the time. It happens in free agency. It happens in the draft. I mean, Wink does a great job. I have a ton of respect for Coach Martindale and what he does there. So it's not like it's a completely foreign thing than what they do. They do a little bit of both, I would say. But there's been countless examples of guys in free agency that are 5-year veterans that come into an attack scheme from a two-gapping scheme. So you work at it like anything else, and it'd be the same really if you went vice versa.
Daryl, you passed up on not just Travis but Abdul. Fans will look at that as giving up the opportunity to add at least one blue chip type of talent that can be transformational. When you watch Mason on tape, I know Andrew said he fits your defensive DNA with what Jim Schwartz asked for. You're playing against guys like Lamar and Joe Burrow twice a year. When you watch him on tape, what is it that you see in him that kind of gives you that same feeling that he can have the same transformational impact for you?
Yeah, I think there's the fit piece of this, Daryl, in terms of the skill set in our scheme, but also the production is there. This is not a guy that's been doing it for one game or one season. He's been doing it for a long time and been productive in his career. So I think what you see from this player has been consistent, and he is a guy that is constantly disrupting the offense, and obviously the run game, and able to defeat blocks and make plays down the line using his speed for such a big man, and then in the pass game, being disruptive, beating guards. I mean, obviously we've talked a lot about it with Miles on our team. There's opportunities to rush on guards when you're defensive tackle with the center potentially going away. It's a true one-on-one, and it's the nearest point to the quarterback, and just feel really strong about his skill set, feel really strong about the person. I just think he fits who we are.
Go Ashley, then Nate.
With Mason, Kevin, it just seems like everyone always brings up the wrestling background and the leverage and things like that. Like, how much does that just pop on his film, and how unique does that make him in the scheme of this D-line class?
Yeah, as coaches, you love when guys near the ball have that background, because you're so often having to work through contact and stay balanced. So I do think there's a very advantageous part of being on that wrestling mat and then taking it to the football field, because you know how to lean, you know how to get on one leg and transfer power to the other. So I think that's a really big part of it, and it's something he's used. You can see it on tape, him using that background.
Hey, Kevin, with you guys not having a first-round pick in the last 3 years, did that make it all more appealing to pick up another one in the Steel?
Yeah, I think it's a strong deal. You know, we felt good about the deal from a compensation, what's going in, what's going out, that type of thing. Feel like it's good for both teams. But you know, obviously those picks, certainly the pick next year, you know, having multiple first-round picks is a big deal.
And then with Mason, what kind of pre-draft interactions did you have personally with him, and was there anything memorable about any of it?
Met with him at the combine in the quick speed dating portion of the combine. Brought him in here for a top 30 visit. Really like everything about him. You know, just what he brings to the building. He's got a nastiness to him. He can to play defensive line, particularly in our front. You got to have a little bit of an edge, and he's got a big edge. And I like what he brings to this football team. I think, you know, we've talked a lot about the scheme fit, but I also think just his competitive nature, his toughness, I think that's a big part of this as well.
Joe and then Cam.
Kevin, you talked about players coming from a two-gap to an attack scheme. Mm-hmm. Is it better for a young player, getting them younger to come into that, maybe compared to a 5-6 year?
Probably. I think Coach Schwartz could definitely speak to this. He's had a lot of guys in his past that, just like you said, were in the league for 5 years, and then he got to them and worked hard in that scheme. And it's no secret how you just have to get on the grass and work at it. So there's plenty of glimpses on tape with Mason, though, that show you very clearly that has the ability to play attack scheme.
You've been mentioning the importance of the player, too. You talked about Mason's competitiveness, but what else about him as the person made him such a fit, because that was so important to you guys in the selection?
Yeah, I think, Cam, you do so much work on these guys. You find out damn near everything about them, and you talk to their high school coaches and their position coaches, and you just get a really well-rounded picture of the person, how they've been raised, what their work ethic is like, and then you get to spend time with them. You get to get a feel for the person, and I just know that his makeup fits our culture. Yes, you're Tony. I don't remember JD saying that. I do. I mean, listen, you could talk yourself into as many good players and put them all over the formation as you can. I can definitely speak to an offensive coach's perspective. It is difficult when you have an outside guy and an inside guy. There are times that you're going to want them on the same side. There are plenty of times you're going to want them opposite each other for obvious reasons. You know, Miles, we've talked about this ad nauseum. He gets a lot of attention, and it comes in the form of chips. It comes in the form of slides. That opens up one-on-ones for other players, whether it's an outside player or an inside player. Now, as we've all seen, plenty of teams put two tight ends on both sides and can chip both sides. So there's certainly ways to try to slow down interior players. I think you see more often with the chip help that people give and certainly devote to Miles and outside players. The interior players can get that quicker win, puts them in the lap of the quarterback. Just interior players in the attack scheme. Man, I wish Coach Schwartz was up here for a history lesson. You know, he's had some great ones. We were just up there talking about his Bills defensive line, you know, with, I guess it was Mario Williams, Hughes, Marcel Darius, Kyle Williams inside. I mean, those were four guys that could win by themselves, but they really had an outside and inside presence. But this scheme and how Coach Schwartz coaches it and what we demand of our guys up front is really to be the engine, of course, but also to mess things up, mess stuff up. Other words are sometimes used. And that's what this defensive line is charged to do. And I think that's why when you watch Mason's tape, you see so many examples of that where it's very easy to translate that player into our scheme.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.